Okay, thank you. Good evening. So we will call this Board of Trustees meeting, Apple Valley School District, back to open session at 7:01. With that, we'll move on to reports, student representatives, Granite Hills High School. Ella Hausman, you're up first. Good to see you guys back in person.
Yeah.
Hello. Good evening, board members, Superintendent Nelson, and attendees. My name is Ella Hausman, your 2021-2022 Granite Hills GC president. Our prom this year was a success. We had carnival rides such as a spinning ride, a swing ride, carousel, and a mirror funhouse. Plenty of food, drinks, and banger music on the dance floor. Oh, we also had the good buses. If you know, you know. We will also have a second prom for special needs. It will include a DJ and a variety of pastries made by our very own bakery. The theme will be Star Wars. Another dance coming up will be hosted by our athletes, which is Sadie Hawkins' dance, where girls ask boys. Senior awards are next Tuesday, and the students will have the opportunity to sign with their future college. Senior Sunset for our seniors is on Thursday, and it will be Granite's very first Senior Sunset luau. And the juniors will be able to say aloha hello and aloha goodbye to all their amazing, beloved seniors. Hawaiian barbecue will be the choice of entry for the evening. Grad Night at Disney California Adventure is also coming right around the corner on the 20th of this month. Last week, we hosted our first gym pep rally of the year. It was delightful to see the amount of participation and school spirit our Cougars showed. This week happens to be Teacher Appreciation Week, and ASB took some of it into our own hands and gave out pens, lifesavers, and some special shout-outs on Cougar News. It's also Mental Health Awareness Month, and posters are making an appearance around campus to spread awareness. Spring sports are officially over with our boys tennis team winning all league. Our Mighty Cougar football team is on their off-season practices right now, and players are coming back even better after continuing to maintain fitness and practices. Cheer tryouts are going to be held soon for the football season as well. Prom being a success, a second prom is in the making. Sadie's Hawkins dance is near. The senior sunset as a luau with tasty food. Grad night is so close. A gym pep rally filled with roaring Cougars. Our football team is in full swing, and teachers are appreciated, as well as Mental Health Awareness Month being recognized. Thank you for your time. Maroon and Gray leads the way.
Thank you. Good job. Up next is Apple Valley High, Daniel Oriana.
Good evening, esteemed board members. It is my pleasure to bring you news from Apple Valley High School. The school year is slowing down, but Apple Valley High School continues working hard to finish strong. Here are the events from April and May. The school's boys tennis team finished their season as singles and double champions for the Mojave River League, with 3 players receiving all league honors. Apple Valley High School was awarded the Sportsmanship Award from the Citrus Belt Area Athletic Directors Association. We congratulate our Sun Devil athletes, parents, coaches, and athletic director for being recognized for their hard work. We had our junior-senior prom April 23rd for the first time in 2 years. We are glad that we were able to bring back this memorable event for our students. The Sun Devil Band and Color Guard performed at the Angel Stadium in Anaheim on April 27th. We are so proud of them. We are hosting our Senior Awards Night this Wednesday, May 11th, to recognize our seniors for all of their hard work and commitment during their high school career. Lastly, we competed in the Skills USA state competition, and Apple Valley High School earned 11 gold medals, being declared state champions for their respective categories. We congratulate our students and CDE coordinators for this great achievement, and we are so excited to see them move on to Skills USA Nationals in Atlanta this summer. We know that they will continue to succeed and represent Apple Valley High School to the nation. As always, I thank you for your attention, and remember, Sun Devil pride is contagious.
Thank you, Daniel. California School Employees Association, CSEA, you have a report tonight? Anybody here? No? And I believe AVUDA, you're up, or you're up, I'm sorry. Oh,
They made me come up here by myself. Good evening, Superintendent Nelson, board members, Assistant Superintendent, and audience members. As we approach the end of the school year, before we breathe a huge sigh of relief and launch into summer break, it is fitting to take a moment or two to reflect on how far we have come and where we are headed as an AVUDA team. We do and will continue to focus on what matters most: our teachers, our students, and our community. In ways large and small, our AVUDA team continues to make positive differences. Last board meeting, I had the pleasure of introducing the exec board team. This board meeting, I would like to recognize our rep council committee members. We would not be able to function without them and without their help, and we deeply valued their efforts and commitment. I would like to first introduce to you our rep council. There's some rep councils over there. They work at the school level to help our teachers as best they can. I would like to also introduce our committee chairs. We have our SPED committee led by Amanda, and I had the pleasure of attending one of their committee members, and it was very informational. I'm really excited with the work they're doing to help the SPED teachers. We have our grievance chair, which she is not here tonight, and Dustin appreciates the grievance committee. We have our PAC committee, which we're putting back together. We're still looking for our chair and our members for our PAC committee because we recognize that school board elections are coming up as well, and we want to be there to help out. Our negotiations team, which you met earlier. We have our grant and scholarship committee, which Holly's not here, and Holly Blagg is our committee lead for that, and they're able to give out grants to the teachers to help them with projects in their classroom, and now they're awarding, I believe it is 10 students with scholarships for next year as well. Then we have our organizing committee, which is led by Kristen Wallace, and they are the ones that are out there in the community as well, and we greatly appreciate that. They do our community cleanup days, our Apple Valley Trunk or Treat, the Christmas tree lighting. We had the International Children's Day and handed out books for that. We handed out water and granola bars and some snacks at the track meet. And coming up, we have our blood drive. So I'd really like to recognize them as well. We have our elections committee, which we've talked Jessica Kuiper into leading that this year. And we do have elections going on right now for vice president. And then we also have our state council representative, which is Janet Amby. And she does a lot of work at the higher level to help out with the state council and so forth. But I think that they deserve a round of applause because they really work hard in helping our community and members. And thank you, and have a good evening.
thank you. You did good by yourself there. Okay, moving right along, we'll read out the clerk of the board. She'll report on any action taken in closed session. So Dennis, if you can read out what we...
The Board of
Read up.
Trustees approved the following. Appointed Sharon Heitman as principal, Setting Bull Academy, range 14, column 1, on the certificated management salary schedule, 210 base duty days, effective July 1st, 2022. Sharon, would you please stand up? She came to our community from Tehachapi. A lot of good stuff comes out of that town, fruit-wise. Conference with labor negotiator on a motion by Chris, seconded by Maria. The board approved the following. Approve the memorandum of understanding with the California School Employees Association, CSEA, Chapter 828, dated April 5th, 2022, regarding increase of hours. Did not approve the memorandum of understanding with the California School Employees. No, all right, we did it. 4-0 vote. Acting like Biden. Conference with labor negotiator on a motion by Maria, seconded by Rick. Approve the memorandum of understanding with the California School Employees Association, CSEA, chapter number 828, dated April 5th, 2022, regarding classification study, instructional family job description, on a vote 4-0. That's it.
That's it? Okay, thank you, Dennis. All right, item 5, adoption of the agenda. The board may approve the agenda as is or add or pull any items from consent calendar for discussion or action. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll second. Second.
All right, motion by Maria, second by Dennis Bender. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that'll be the motion to approve. Discussion items, local control accountability plan presentation. This will be from Pat Slosser, Assistant Superintendent, Educational Services. Pat?
Thank you. Yes, okay. So this is an update on the LCAP process that we try to bring around this time as we get closer to the June board meetings, where in 2 subsequent meetings, we have both the public hearing and then proposed adoption of the LCAP. And so just a kind of an update and highlights, but and a quick reminder that all of this, the work that's done is under the umbrella of our larger mission. And an important document, it helps guide our decision-making when it comes to hiring, developing professional learning, and all of these LCAP goals. And so just a moment to pause and remember this. Oh, I thought I was. Give me a moment. I'll share this screen. There it is. Thank you. For those of you following along at home, I do have acronym bingo for you. It's just a fun game we play anytime we have school things going on. It's in your packets. And so if you follow along closely, I promise you'll get all of these. And I'll try to not use any acronyms for the unprepared. Some plans, just a quick reminder that plans that are already in place this year, this has been the year of plans from both the state and federal government. From the federal government, you approved our ESSER 3 plan, which is federal funds, lots of those funds flowing to things, large projects like our HVA system upgrade, audio video system upgrades across the school system, and some intervention positions that were tied there. There was also the Educator Effectiveness Block Grant that had to do with some staff training, professional development position that was added for the next 3 years, and really a focus on what staff identified as needs and focus on student outcomes. We had the now finishing Expanded Learning Opportunity Grant, the ELOG, which were one-time funds that we used to both have summer school last year, after school and before school programs this year, and summer school this coming year. They have extended those funds slightly, so we will use the carryover funds to continue such activities at the upper grades. And finally, you had the A through G Completion Improvement Grant, which is one-time funds designed to help students improve their A through G completion rate. A quick look at those funds. For Apple Valley Unified, that's just over $1 million. Again, it's one-time fund, so you don't want to do anything with that has an ongoing cost. But we will use that in the following manner, just some data from our February presentation about A through G. But we're going to do 3 things. One, we'll take a close look at transcripts for students to determine where do we lose them on that pathway through A through G. Where are they not making it, and a careful analysis of that. We'll continue to do AVID teacher training and those strategies, and of course, extra classes for students to get access to the classes if they need them, to either retake them or build the capacity for them to approach those classes for the first time and be successful. The plans that are still pending approval, in addition to the LCAP, there's the Universal Transitional Kindergarten Plan. Our state has a sort of a cascading addition of birth dates to expand the transitional kindergarten into essentially a full grade level. And so we need to submit a plan to be able to serve those 4-year-olds in that manner. And so that's in the works. That will come to you as a summary and go to the CDE when requested. The Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, not grant, which is an ongoing expanded learning grant for TK through 6. It is a sort of limited in its scope. It does require an extended school day where offered to make a total day of 9 hours. For TK through 6, but it's not mandatory. It's just we must offer a 9-hour day for those who want it. So staffing that will be, we have some creative ideas. Actually, we're looking to expand our high school student worker program, possibly to get some, mixed grade experience involved like we do with our AVID tutors. And of course, we had our increased concentration grant funds, a 15% addition to the concentration amount that was specifically designed for site supports. UTK, remember, is going to be to serve those 4-year-olds by birthday by eventually there'll be anyone who turns 4 by September 1st of that year will be eligible. That will cascade over the next 4 years. It does require us also to allow TK students access to after-school programs, which of course we would do. We will be serving these students as we do now, but they may be moving from a preschool experience to a TK experience. And so we'll be adjusting those programs accordingly. There are some class size caps and requirements for aides. So all of that's in our plan. Mr. Schulenberg talked about this when he talked about facilities, because it does have a facilities impact. And we will be adding about 9 new teachers for next year. We'll be training and recruiting both teachers and paraeducators, and that summary will be coming your way. The increased concentration grant dollars, those were taken to our district advisory committee and principals and other groups, and we came up with an addition of quite a number of custodians, if not full positions, added hours into certain positions, and in fact, multiple positions at all school sites. We added proctors, crossing guards, campus securities in some places, and we'll be adding more as we can recruit them and put them in place. We did add registered nurses at the school sites, behavior intervention technicians. We added elementary counselors that will be coming on board next year, so every site will have at least one, and there will be no longer a shared counselor between any 2 school sites. We're adding a therapist to High Desert Premier Academy, in addition to the one at Apple Valley High School and one at Granite Hills High School, and added the assistant principal at Granite Hills High School on assignment. So those are all added through the LCAP increased concentration, which is ongoing funding. The other things we've done since we last talked about LCAP in February is we did have our student advisories. It was wonderful to have kids here, get them talking about what they believe their school should be like. We asked them questions like, what should your teacher know? Or what do you wish your teacher knew, rather? If you could create the perfect school, what would be there? And it was just a great experience for those. We had 4th through 8th grade, and then we did get to work with some high school students as well. We did have another district advisory committee on April 4th. We worked with leadership to do some planning, and actually just finished a health and wellness convening for 2 days at the SELPA with Dr. Ron Powell and a team from our district, from Hesperia, Silver Valley, and Snowline, to be working specifically on mental health. The student voice sessions were just amazing. You can imagine the student voice sort of lands in 4 main categories. They want engagement. It doesn't matter what age they are. It doesn't matter kind of, what part of the school culture they come from. They want to be engaged and do things that are interesting and fun. The feedback was really incredible. They want people to care about them and have an honest relationship, the kinds of things you remember about your best teachers. And then they always say lunch. It doesn't matter something comes up about lunch every time. And I get that, right? They're just always, that's a topic of interest. And then they talked about feeling safe, various things about school safety, and gave us great ideas for that, all of which have been able to add. Like I said, we've added proctors and campus security, partially because of their call. The ELOP program also kind of came about through public input. Like I said, it focuses on TK6. It will be actually for us, will be presented along with the LCAP. I mentioned the 9-hour day, and the parents that we asked really talked about things like they want fun, engaging activities for kids that maybe aren't offered during the school day. They asked for transportation to be offered if possible, and we'll have to work out to what degree we can do that. They said things like tutoring and extra help. And as you can imagine, the after-school programs as they're currently constituted look a lot like this, right? Like that has been what after-school has been about, because it is a time when we don't have the same constraints that we have during the school day from the point of view of a demand to cover certain content from the state. We have the freedom to do the things that students say, I would come if we did art. I would come if we had music, and so on. So those will be the things we're looking to add next year. The LCAP goals are these. These are incredibly short summaries of the goals that I know you know well, but it comes down to those 5 categories being all in service of meeting the needs of the students as indicated in our mission: academic, behavioral, and social emotional health. And so to serve that end, we want to maintain and continue staff training. What may shift is the topics. To continue to build our engaging programs, including a absolute area leading college and career readiness program. As you heard from the students, the success at Skills USA argues for that. To strengthen our multi-tiered systems of support for students when they have need. We have an entire goal around our families and community and rebuilding and building those relationships and English language development. So our plan right now is to increase the number of staff training topics. A flyer will go out in the days to come for staff training that will be this summer. We're looking forward to having a full summer of offerings again, where we can bring people together in rooms, where we don't have to do this virtually. It's going to be wonderful. We're going to continue to expand things like our AVID support. As you know, next year, from the point of view of college readiness, all students must complete the FAFSA. The current junior class, next year's senior class, will be pushing to get them to all complete that, or sign a waiver saying they would like not to. Our multi-tiered systems of support will have a major focus. That was the top priority that came out of our work over the last 2 days, building classroom management structures and strengthening our MTSS systems. We'll be having trainings over the summer on that and all school year. Our parent offerings will continue through the family centers, adult ed, and things like our Love and Logic parenting classes. And finally, even this summer, we'll have learning for our English language development program, bringing in quality teaching for English learners. The QTEL program's absolutely fantastic. So our next steps will be a lengthy and exhaustive full LCAP for you to review in June. It will be presented for a public hearing on June 2nd for a time to hear from folks and their thoughts about this LCAP. Again, remember, this is year 2 of a 3-year plan. So we're simply continuing the goals we have. There's been no call to change them, but rather to strengthen them with those additional dollars. And then board action on June 9th. We'll submit it to the county superintendent of schools, and then that LCAP division and I go back and forth over language, hopefully minor, all summer. And then final approval must happen in September so that they can release our budget. So I'll pause there.
Any questions for Pat? Yes. Go ahead, Maria.
I was going to ask this too. Yeah. My first question has to do with the A to G completion improvement that you have. And the first thing that you stated was that there will be transcript analysis and other data review to determine the root cause. Do you have a timeline as to when the first transcript analysis has to occur so that you can catch that student who is at the verge of failing early enough so that they can begin to have some success to be able to graduate and meet the A to G requirement? Because what I tend to see is we begin to see the transcript issue when there's a discipline issue. And I would like to know if there's a place that you tell all of the principals at the high school level when they need to begin to look at the transcript. Is it when they're coming to 11th grade and they're ending 11th grade that you have the conversation so that the parents are aware that this meeting has to occur? And I asked that question because when I was principal in this district, I was told that I needed to see all of my students' transcripts so that I can have a conversation with them about the direction they're going.
Yeah, so two answers to that question. One, actually, transcript analysis in writ small is constantly occurring because the counselors do that. And I should have mentioned that as by virtue of the LCAP, we've added counseling positions. They're already in place. It won't be new this year, but the high school counseling ratios are about 320 to 1. Whereas, Trinae, you might know this number better, but I think statewide it's more like 800 to 1. And so by virtue of that smaller number, the kind of work you're talking about can occur. Because here's the thing about A through G completion, because English is all years, it's the first semester of freshman year that actually we have to start looking, right? And the hope then is to catch students there and offer them to retake. It's the difficulty is convincing students who get a D, they've passed it, to still retake it because the D isn't good enough for A through G. So that's constant. The bigger transcript analysis, we actually conducted this years ago using the Riverside County Office of Ed, and they're still doing this work. This is a deep dive into even a previous class. A look backwards to see when did we lose them and what did we do and what didn't work and what did. And so a little deeper analysis to determine what activities are effective does not stop the continued, I mean, as you can imagine, you should see the counseling entries, right? For that first student that maybe gets a low grade in an A through G course. Remember that in our system, freshmen that by virtue of just being in our system, they're on an A through G track. There really isn't another track. It's not until later down the road where they start making decisions about maybe not another foreign language, or maybe not a third science, or maybe not, and making sure those decisions are informed and that parents know.
Thank you.
Chris?
This may be a question for a future meeting, but really it would be great if we could, share with everyone the difference of what our students are going to receive between preschool and then as we transition over to an actual TK. What curriculum might look like different, how the classroom might be a little different, the number of students who are in there. But that way you actually see the value of bringing TK.
Yeah, and I can answer that briefly by saying that at the moment, where we have students who qualify for either program, the chief difference is the length of day. So preschool is very short. It's a 3-hour program. And any parent who's, with very rare exceptions, has this child who qualifies by birth date right now for TK, they choose TK.
Right.
Parents will still be allowed to choose preschool. So our preschool program will remain and serve the 3-year-olds and any 4-year-old who wants it. We anticipate very few 4-year-olds who qualify for TK choosing not to go to TK, just because the length of day typically matches their other siblings. That's the primary difference.
Thank you.
Anything else? Pat?
Yes, I do.
Oh, Maria?
You did say, and I really appreciated that you stated that the students had a voice and the students said what their choices, what they were thinking. Will it be possible for us to hear some of those things that the students said so that we can better represent them? That's our job, to represent the students, so that we can hear what they're really asking of us, to be able to guide us in how we serve them.
Absolutely. I actually have collated all those responses and they're ready to share. I'll share them with you.
Thank you.
Anything further for Mr. Schlosser?
Thank you.
Pat, you have a further presentation? No? Thank you. Moving right along, public comments. Kylie, do we have any public people who want to speak tonight?
We do. We have a total of 2.
Okay, thank you. First up is Tracy, is it Miss Scario? Okay, you're up.
I apologize. I am a teacher and I speak very well in front of kids, not adults.
I'll
Thank
just
you.
pretend that we're,
Look like we're little.
Like your kids? Okay, I'll picture that.
As long as it doesn't fall on me. Perfect, thank you. All right, nice to see you all again. My name is Tracy. I don't know if any of you recognize me, probably not, you see a million people. But I have been here once before. During that time, you were dealing with a lot, COVID mandates, mask mandates. The particular meeting I was here was the meeting that was packed full of parents that were here for the mask mandate. So I was probably a very small P in a large group. But I am back now that that is history for the most part. And now it is time, I feel, to focus on some other things that we need to deal with. When you think of a high school in Apple Valley, the one that comes to mind is Apple Valley High School. I mean, it's named after the town. It's kind of like naming your child after a parent. It kind of reminds me of an older sister. She's older. She was born first. Granite Hills is like the younger sibling, but feels like a stepchild. They have to borrow everything: the stadium, concession stands, locker rooms, etc. We're 23 years old. I think it's about time we no longer have to borrow these things from our older sibling. We have a population of 1,636. Hopefully that's exact. About to be 1,800 next year and growing. This is more than enough to fill the stands. Our sports programs are getting more and more athletic and competitive by the years. But Newton T-Bass isn't just Apple Valley High School's field, but it is in their room. We shouldn't have to go to our older sister's room in order to use something that's ours. When we talk to other people about something happening there, you'll get a response of, oh, that's the Apple Valley High School stadium. Instead of explaining, you just say, sure, that one. We've heard this has been in the works for some time now. COVID may have paused some of the progress, but it's time to start running with it now. The alumni, parents, students, and community members think that it's time that Granite gets something that they can call their own. They no longer should feel like they were borrowing their home field, no longer feel like they are not able to use the locker room or have to walk by and be reminded by Apple Valley High School players that this is not their field. Please take the time to take care of the younger sibling. Let them feel wanted and appreciated by not adding it to the 2024 ballot for a bond, but by getting it built now. Hesperia High School did it in 2026. Whew. We went ahead, we went to the future. In 2006, after 22 years of waiting, at the very worst, the 2024 bond can be used to pay back the school district for building the stadium. Waiting 2 years for a bond to be placed on the ballot puts us at least 3 to 4 more years for waiting. They shouldn't have to wait any longer. As we all know, sports and engagement, student engagement, strengthen the student-school relationships. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments, Tracy. Up next is Christina Glenn.
Good evening. I'm a little bit shorter than Tracy. Good evening. I'm a teacher at Mariana Academy, and I have been at Mariana for 5 years, and I absolutely love our school. I love our students. It's an amazing place to be. And it's because of this love for our students that I'm speaking to you tonight. Years before I came to Apple Valley Unified School District, the decision was made for our campus to become a K-8 campus instead of an elementary. I know there was a reason for this change. I wasn't around at that time. So I'm just now seeing the effects of it rather than the original reason. For the past 5 years, I've seen our elementary students being exposed to language, violence, other behavior that comes with middle school students, but that they really shouldn't have to be around. There are different safety concerns with combining students at different times simply because of our limited facilities. And on the other hand, it's really, really unfair to our middle school students that they are shoved to the back of an elementary school campus in portables that I think are about as old as I am, that are placed side by side with maybe 2 teachers to switch between classes. We have no gym, we have no science lab, no locker room to change out for PE. And yet, once they leave our campus, they're expected to go on to Apple Valley and succeed, along with students from the other schools that had a true middle school experience. We often are disheartened when we hear from the teachers at Apple Valley High School that they can identify our kids right away because of their lack of just knowledge of different things, not knowing how to open a combination lock or not being able to make it across campus within a passing period because that's something they've never had to do. it's just really striking to me that, especially in this time of really being concerned about equity for all students, how is it fair that within one school district, we have students who have an amazing middle school facility and experience, multiple teachers, the best things that they could ask for, while others don't? It's unfair. And it shouldn't be dictated because our kids live on the wrong side of town. I know that this is not going to be an issue that's easily resolved. I know there's no simple solution. I'm well aware of that. I know that boundaries and numbers and budget, of course, are always ongoing issues. However, I implore you to begin the process of problem solving this now, rather than continuing to kick the ball down the road as it feels like it has been for many years. Because if you begin the process now of trying to find a solution, then we can have a plan in place when there is maybe a bond available or different things like that, so that we'll be able to hit the ground running rather than waiting, for the cart before the horse. So I'm just asking for all of you to give that consideration, that we can do better for our students. And we love our students. Our middle school teachers do everything that we can for them, but we're just limited. And all of our students deserve everything we can give them to aid in their success, especially those ones who come from lesser means. So if you guys would take this into consideration, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Christina. Thank you. All right. Trinae, you have any comments tonight?
I do.
That's what I called them.
I actually will work a little bit with Mariana staff just to give some history of why that originated the way it did. I obviously was not superintendent, but I was in the district at the time, and it was based on some parent requests having to do with smaller campuses and that type of thing. So if there is a need to do some problem solving, we absolutely will work on that. During Karen Saber's presentation, there were some very appropriate staff things scrolling across the screens having to do with staff appreciation. There was a thought exchange that was sent out to staff across the district, asking them to share positive comments about interactions with staff in the district. And so we have those. We will continue to compile them. They'll be located on our website, but we're thrilled that it's Teacher Appreciation Week and Staff Appreciation Week for us next week, and then classified the following week. But we kind of pull everybody together next week to do it as an entire Apple Valley Unified School District family. Last week, we were notified by the state of California that we received 2 Pivotal Practices awards, one at Sycamore Rocks for their application having to do with maintaining a sense of belonging during the pandemic. Practices, these are considered pivotal practices because they happened during closure, but they are things they will continue. And so theirs included taking and connecting families back to the school, even though they were on distance learning, through drive-through events, very successful drive-through events that they are not going to get rid of because we're back in person, because they had more families that participated, didn't have to necessarily get out of their car and could participate. Online art fairs and different things that just engaged thousands over the course of the year. The district also received a pivotal practice regarding social emotional well-being, having to do with our connection back to our families in the service of nutrition services, one-to-one technology and connectivity. All the things that families needed were supplied. And if we found out about a situation that we didn't have knowledge of, we went out and took care of it, including people delivering food when we now knew that they couldn't get to one of our delivery spots. So those were small numbers across the state that received those pivotal practices, and you'll see the banner be attached to our website because we get to celebrate that. Last week, I was able to attend Art Attack at Rancho Verde Elementary School. It's an annual thing. They missed it for 2 years because of COVID, but they didn't miss a beat, and kids were having a wonderful time for 2 days. We had International Day of the Child with over 800 people checking in on this property in Manning Park, which when I walked out, I said, I think we need to expand. And it was the first one we've done. So Mariana Torres and the Family Center group, along with AVUSD and Assistance League, and just a variety of people that from the community came out to serve our families and offer information, books, performances from Granite Hills High School, some really incredible things. Little kids walking away with bikes because they had been donated, and that was the best. That night I was able to attend Granite Hills Grade Academy Showcase, student-led, student productions, and really incredible things happening there. Last night there was a picnic at Mariana Academy. I don't really believe those were all your families because there were way too many people there. The dirt lot across the street was filled. But again, people being able to come together is absolutely has been missed over the last 2 years, and it's great to see these things going on again. And then after Mariana, we had DLAC here at the district office, the District English Language Advisory Committee. We have several families that have committed their time and energy to support our English learners in this district. And not only do they go through an agenda, but at the end, last night was the culmination of the year. And those that have volunteered their time were provided certificates. Longevity awards are going on throughout the district. Some of the board members have been able to attend those. I gave a 40-year pin, well, it's not a pin, a 40-year apple out to somebody yesterday at Desert Knolls. And I think of that as the incredible time that that person has spent in this district, 40 years in this district, not other places. Yeah. So, and that was an office person. It was pretty incredible. Did you do that too, Mr. Bender?
I did it.
Yeah, I thought I gave you your, what, 40, how many years? 40?
42.
42.
Did they give him an apple or did they give
They-
him a?
I don't like that.
And then tomorrow is School Lunch Hero Day. And we will, I know Matt and Rose will be out going around to schools. I'll join in as I can get there. And then Karen did mention it. AVUSD has a blood drive going on at Sandia on May 14th from 9 to 3. We'll get that publicized as well out because that just serves the community. And anything we can do to do that is wonderful. 17 goals at Skills USA, the same weekend as prom for Granite Hills High School and Apple Valley High School, and they still outperformed. I saw one of our CTE people from the county and over the weekend, and they're like, your kids are killing it. And I said, of course they are. So lots of kids going to Atlanta this summer, and we're just overwhelmed by the outcomes. So thank you.
You don't want to tell about your trip to the White House and you're going to meet the vice president and all that?
So I did go to DC last week and on advocacy. So this was Intent for California, 123 California school superintendents and board members attended Coast to Coast with CSBA and AXA, which are both representatives of California. Over the course of the 3 days, we spent time at the Department of Education. As a 31-year educator, I've only been on the outside of the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., but I made it inside this time. And they actually let us ask questions and allowed us to talk about why funding for special education, mental health, nutrition services flexibility, high-speed internet access, the American Rescue Plan timeline extension, which for many people, they don't understand. Educators were given to 2023 to spend the funds to support our students. And every other entity that was provided those funds was given until December of 2026. We're just asking for equity to do that so that we can continue to support our students and our schools. And then finally, teacher prep programs and to have our teachers prepared and ready to come so that we can fill those positions. I did get invited. 20 of us got invited to go to the White House. We thought it was a fishing expedition on the internet to get us to respond with our social security numbers, and then we found out that it wasn't. This came on Monday while I was there, and on Tuesday morning, we found out that the vice president had been positive for COVID, so we wouldn't get to meet with her. We thought it was canceled, got another email. They had rescheduled with her staff. So we all attended, 20 of us got to go onto the White House grounds, go into the Eisenhower building, and go into the vice president's office with her staff. And they took copious notes. There were certainly things they were focused on: special education, nutrition services, high-speed internet, because they know those are the things that have come out of this pandemic. But it was quite an experience. And just being invited was one thing, but actually having them listen to us and ask questions and hear our stories from our specific school districts were very powerful.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe you were going to say it later, but
It's okay. I just wasn't sure who wanted to hear it. There's
Oh.
kids out there and they might say,
You might
no,
tell
thank
them
you,
to go
Mrs.
do
Nelson.
it was good. Thank you. All right. Board member comments. Maria,
You gonna let them go for homework?
what's that?
You gonna let these students go home for homework?
Oh, I'm not holding them hostage here. They can go. They're here because they're interested.
All right. You might believe that.
Well,
You guys can go if you like.
I'm going to
It's
start.
pretty boring from here on.
I'm going to start by thanking the students, the student speakers. You were exceptional, as usual. You gave us all the information about your schools and what you were doing at your school. I'm still shopping around for something maroon to wear on your graduation day, so that I will really come to represent. Sun Devils, my life is about Sun Devils. I have enough Sun Devil colors, so I'll be there. I thank all the presenters, Mr. Schlosser. You gave us enough information to get us going, and I really appreciate that, to be able to serve the people of Apple Valley. When it comes to Apple Valley, the stadium, we are not walking away. We're going to do all we can to make sure that that does not go in the back burner, that it comes to the front. We don't have guarantees because obviously I'm not the bank, so I have to follow the protocol that they stated. With regards to Mariana School, this is the first way I'm hearing about it, but at least you have a superintendent who's willing to say, let's go and sit down and talk about how we can better serve the children. Equity is very, very important to us sitting here. So we want to be sure that your students who are going to make it to the high school will not be coming out from the back end and not be able to know what a lab is or a gym is. So you're very lucky. You have a superintendent who is always willing to listen and find solutions. Congratulations to Sycamore Rocks for your recognition. And I can't help but congratulate Mrs. McLean for being recognized by AXA. That is a big thing because there's a lot of paperwork that goes for those awards, and for them to recognize her was a great honor. Unfortunately, I did not go, so when I saw it, I felt like this is wrong. I should have known about it so that I will attend. Skills USA, I'm really, really proud of you. And just in case some of you are not aware, there's going to be a Black graduation ceremony at Atlanta High School. And there are quite a few students from Apple Valley who have reserved their place to attend the Black graduation ceremony. And I'm aware that the cost may be too high. So on behalf of Apple Valley School District, I took it upon myself to purchase all of their stalls so that the students who want to graduate out there to march down with their peers could also have their stall for that Black graduation ceremony at Atlanta High School. Otherwise, I am really happy to be of service to each one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Christopher Nunez.
Thank you. Quick congratulations to all of our skills competitors. Really appreciate it. I know some of our Cougars are watching. Hey guys, just from Granite Hills regarding the stadium, Cougars on the case. Gotcha. Again, congratulations to our skills students. Congratulations to all of our athletes who are rounding out their spring seasons in fantastic form. Thank you to all of our teachers for Teachers Appreciation Week. Looking forward to seeing you all next week for Staff Appreciation Week. Congratulations to all those who are receiving their longevity awards this week and next week. Truly, thank you for your many years of dedication and service. And lastly, we are on the final countdown. So stay focused, enjoy the last couple of weeks that we have left, and make sure you cherish them. And to our seniors, congratulations. We'll see you at graduation.
Thank you, Chris. Dennis.
Well, graduation's coming at warp speed. This is great. We need the people to fill the jobs out there. But no, it really is good. Concerning stadium, I had kids that graduate from Apple. My last two graduated from Granite. I know we need a stadium. We got the land west of the school. It's going to happen. There's no one wants it more than the people that are up there. But thanks for your input. It's very good. Yeah, we're going to need your help. We're going to rally the troops. We might circle the wagons.
Thank you, Dennis. I just want to follow up on what a couple of the board members said. Teacher appreciation is going on right now, and we all, I mean, I can speak for myself, we all remember our teachers and what an instrumental part of our lives that they play. I can go all the way back to kindergarten and remember some of my teachers. And so we had a really rough 2 years. Teachers have, the schools have.
Kids.
And a lot of the teachers came through with flying colors and stuck with it. And we appreciate the teachers for that. And we're looking forward to negotiations for the teachers this year and doing good things for the district. So we appreciate it. As far as the stadium goes, what I'd like to do, we did have a presentation from our superintendent staff about this a couple months ago, and then we do have an issue with the bonds on the ballot, possibly. But I would like to keep this in keep the iron in the fire and have a presentation done on financing and what it's going to take and what the costs will be for design and move it forward. So if we can have that done in the next upcoming meetings throughout this rest of this year of 2022, and come up with some answers, that'd be great. So, Matt, I see Matt's taking notes. So,
Good.
But it is important to the community,
Very
and we have taken the steps to purchase the land, and so let's keep it moving forward.
We know it's the only high school in the high desert that doesn't have a stadium. We know that.
With that, we'll move on to public hearings regarding adoption of resolution number 212217 of the Governing Board of Apple Valley Unified School District to authorize approving a fee justification study and increasing the level. Thank you. And increasing the level statutory school facility fees imposed on residential and commercial industrial construction pursuant to Ed Code Section 17620 and Government Code Section 65995. So Matt, to provide some comment prior to opening the time for the comments. So
Thank you, Mr. Rowley.
Matt?
Just a little background and a little statement about what this is. If we think back to October 2017, the board did approve an agreement with Cooperative Strategies to perform this biennial residential and commercial development school fee justification study. This particular study is the third in that cycle, thus ending our agreement with Cooperative Strategies. But they did prepare this fee study as required by government code pertaining to the adoption of school fees. And this study was in fact available for public review in the business office for more than 10 days prior to tonight's meeting, as is required by law. The level 1 developer fees were actually established in 1998 and are updated by the State Allocation Board early in each even year, hence 2022. In 1998, the maximum level 1 residential developer fee was $1.93 per square foot, and it's been adjusted every 2 years since. Recently, in February, the State Allocation Board did take action to increase the maximum level 1 residential fee
from $4.08 per square foot to $4.79 per square foot. At the same meeting, they took action to increase the commercial fee from 66 cents per square foot to 78 cents per square foot. And the proposed resolution that you have in the discussion action portion of the agenda tonight does resolve to adopt this particular study and subsequently increase the level 1 developer fees that Apple Valley Unified collects, which will become effective 60 days after board action. These particular fees are deposited in Fund 25. It's not our general operating fund. It's a specific fund for our developer fees. They are utilized to offset many of the costs associated with the construction or modernization of school facilities to house the students generated by the residential and or commercial development, including but not limited to the design, purchase of land, construction of facilities, testing and inspection costs during construction, any interim school facilities necessary, and last but not least, they can also be used to repay debt service for financing issued for the purpose of providing those school facilities. That's my comment. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. So with that, I'm going to open the public hearing at 7:50.
No, not 60.
What?
Not 60. That's an hour.
No, it's 7.
I
I mean, it's 7:56.
Okay.
We have to open it for a minute.
Okay.
I'm going to make it an hour just for you.
Done.
All right. So Kylie, do we have anybody that wishes to speak on that?
We do not.
Okay, thank you. So
we have a minute.
we have a minute.
Did anybody get bingo?
Thank you.
That's a minute.
30 seconds. Okay, Kylie says it's a minute. Okay. All right, so with that, I'm going to close the public hearing at 7:59. Thank you. So moving right along, adopt declaration of need for fully qualified educators form to be effective July 1st. I think that's supposed to be from. Yeah. To be effective July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023, as required by the California Commission of Teachers Credentialing. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion Bender, second Nunez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that'll be the order. Okay, approve the certificated and classified personnel actions as listed. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Nunez, second Bender. All in favor?
You're in.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that will be the order. Approve the requested leave as noted. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Nunez, second? I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that'll be the order. Okay, now we're going to move on to approve the recommendation of the administrative hearing chairperson effective immediately on expulsion case EXP 25202122. We have a
Second.
motion.
Second.
Okpara, second Bender. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that'll be the order. Expulsion case EXP 2620212022.
Second.
Maria, second Nunez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that'll be the order. Any discussion on any of those? Expulsion case EXP 2720212022.
Second.
Maria, Nunez, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that'll be the order. Expulsion case EXP 2820212022.
So moved.
Bender, Maria. Any, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that will be the order. Expulsion case EXP 29212022. Motion Maria,
Second.
second Nunez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that'll be the order. Item 5, adopt resolution number 212217, authorizing and approving the fee study and increasing the level of statutory school facility fees imposed on residential, commercial, and industrial construction pursuant to Education Code 17621 and Government Code Section 65995. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Motion Bender, second Nunez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that'll be the order. Approve the lease agreement with Town of Apple Valley. Do I have a motion?
Second?
Motion Nunez, second Maria. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? That'll be the order. Hearing none, that'll be the order. Okay, consent, approved consent list. It is recommended the Board of Trustees consider approving a number of agenda items as a consent list. Consent items are routine in nature and can be enacted in one motion without further discussion. This procedure conserves meeting time and full discussion of significant issues. So we have items on consent 1 through 26. Okay, we have a motion to approve items 1 through 26 by Maria. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Bender. Any discussion on any of those items? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that'll be the order. So we don't have any reason to go back into closed session. So basically with that, is there any more comments from the superintendent? None? Any more board member comments?
Nope.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Did you skip staff reports?
There was no staff report
There's no
tonight.
staff report.
Did I skip that?
There's no staff report for action. It's just if you have a question.
Do you have a question, Maria?
I'm still having the question on the CWA because I noticed that one of the items that we approved today was to have one of the counselors serve as a CWA counselor. And I'm just wondering when that will kick in order to begin to make those home visits like we asked.
Are you talking about the personnel report or this? Okay, so back to the HR report, a position established, or the staff report?
Right now, it addresses, that particular subject addresses the question of child work and attendance on the report. So I'm curious about where we are in terms of getting the verifications of addresses.
Okay, that's it, that I can answer. So what we are doing is running our addresses and matching to see if there's more than one family living in the home. And we are constantly doing that. So as we do that process, they go out and do home visits. Any mail that is returned causes a prompt for a home visit because that tells us that either somebody isn't living there or they may have a change of address. So when they're doubled up, we have to do the homeless part, right? We have to identify and utilize the appropriate identification for homeless because they're doubled up. But beyond that, it's a constant that we are checking. Okay, yeah.
All good? Okay, so we did have a motion to adjourn by Dennis, and do we have a second?
Second?
We're out of here.
Nunez. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that'll be the order. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good meeting.
Congratulations.
Thank you.